Hey everyone, it's Chris from Rat Race Rebellion. Have you ever thought that it would be really great to have a job with the US federal government? If you have, I'm going to take you over to a website where all of the available civil service jobs with the federal government are posted. USAJobs.gov is the official job board for those positions, and they have thousands of positions posted over there at any given time because it involves a lot of different departments within the government posting their jobs there. I'm going to take you over to the USAJobs.gov website and show you in particular how to locate the remote jobs on that site. And then I want to take a few moments to talk to you about the difference between applying for a federal job and a private sector job. Because, the government, they can't just do things like everybody else, right? So let's dive in. We'll start at the USAJobs.gov website and take it from there. So here we are on their homepage, USAJobs.gov. As with almost every website where you're looking for a job, you're going to find two fields. There's one for keywords and then one for location. And for me, as with every other site that I go to, I try to bypass that if it's possible, because I want to try to get to a page where I'm going to have more searched details. So a more advanced search option. So to do that, I'm going to click on search, and that's going to bring me through to a page that does have more options. You can see down here in the filters column, right here in that right-hand column, I'm on a laptop. It'll be different if you're looking at this on your cell. You're going to see that it actually has a remote jobs section here. And you can see a lot more of the jobs exclude remote. They have 19,843 jobs today. It is March 30th, 2024 that are not remote and 294 that are remote. But I want to click on the ones that are remote. Now, as you might expect, there are other tools on this right column in the filter section that you can use to refine your search further. So you can see that they have your appointment type. You can choose the department or agency that you want to work in. And you can see, as you can imagine, there are quite a few in here. So you can go through and pick the one that you want or the ones that you want. There's a hiring path. So open to the public, expected service, internal, veterans, military spouses. So lots of different options there. They also have a location section, mission critical field, a pay section, sensitivity, whether or not you're going to need a security clearance and to what level that security clearance should be. Series, percentage of travel, and your work schedule. So lots of options that you can choose from there to fine-tune your search. Now, the government does not use applicant tracking software. I do want to show you how these pages lay out. I'm just going to go ahead and click on communication specialists. It happens to be the first thing on the list today. And you can see that they give you some quick jump links up here, but everything lays out down below as well. So you will get which department it is. In this case, the Department of Homeland Security. It's going to give you a summary of the job, who the job is open to. So in this case, this position is open to federal employees because I didn't say that it needed to be open to everybody. So that's what's showing up here. It's going to give you a look at the duties, the requirements, the qualifications, the education, and then it's going to give you information on how you will be evaluated. All right, which is good to know. And then it's also going to tell you what they need for required documents so that you can get all of your ducks in a row before you apply. And then it will give you your how to apply. And it's going to give you all of that detail here. And again, because it's the government, you can expect this to be a longer process than it would be with a private sector employer. There's actually a Reddit board where they have it dedicated specifically to USA Jobs. So this is just feedback from people who spend time looking for jobs there. And you'll see that they give some great feedback. They'll tell you what their hiring process looked like when people get that final job offer. It's a good place to spend a little bit of time seeing what other people have to say about the hiring process through the USAJobs.gov platform. Because if you haven't applied for a federal job before, it is a whole different animal than applying for private sector. All right. So you can see here, somebody got a formal job offer and they're talking about what their, what the process looked like. So they applied on July 23rd, they applied in July of 2023. They were referred to the next step in October of 2023. They interviewed in December of 2023. They had a verbal offer a few days after that interview. In December of 2023, they received qualifications in January of 2024. They went through the fingerprinting and drug testing. And at the end of the day, they finally got their job offer in March of 2024. So this was actually just posted today. So that's a really fresh post. So whether you're a Reddit user or not, if you're planning on applying for a job through USA Jobs, it's a great place to just go hang out and hear what other people have to say about what worked for them, what didn't work for them, managing your expectations, and just a lot of other information that may be helpful to you. Now, when it comes to actually applying for a job, we've talked a lot about resumes in our course and having applicant tracking software friendly resumes. And while your focus is still going to be on keywords and accomplishments, one of the best ways to actually get yourself set up through USA Jobs is to create a profile on their site. And you'll see a link right on their site where you can do that. Let me just pop back over to USA Jobs and we'll go back to the home page, and you'll see right there on their home page, create profile. So you'll get in there, you're going to create your account. It's going to ask for a lot of information once you get in there, but because it is all under that US federal government umbrella, it's good to know that you're going to be able to enter this information once and have everything in there. Now, one thing that I do want you to be aware of as well is generally, while we try to keep resumes to a page or 2 pages at most, applying for a job through USA Jobs or for a federal job generally, your resume is going to be longer, sometimes much longer, because they're looking for a lot more detail than your typical private sector employer is looking for. The National Institutes of Health, who of course does their hiring through USAJobs.gov, actually put together a page that talks about the differences between federal and private sector resumes. And they do a really good job of sort of putting it in a nutshell, so I'm going to use them as a reference here in this video. So essentially they're saying federal resumes are generally multiple pages long. They have a detailed description of your work experience and qualifications, and they're used to determine if you meet qualifications and requirements for the job announcement. Now, the language is different too. Companies have job postings. The government has job announcements. So it's important to get used to that language so that you don't get lost in the process. So they're saying be sure to list all of your experiences, including your non-paid experiences. And they're comparing it to private sector resumes, where resumes are generally limited to 2 pages. They want a brief summary of your work history. They don't need all of the details. They just want the highlight reel. And it's used as a marketing tool to get an interview, as opposed to see if you're qualified, as you would be with the federal job announcements. So, and here they're giving you a sense of what your resume should include. All right. And a lot of it is the same. They want your contact information, all of it. They want to know what your citizenship is, especially if you are not a U.S. citizen. They need to know that up front. What your relevant work experience is, paid or unpaid. If you have military experience, if you volunteer for different organizations, they want it all. And in the employment section, they're going to want, as you would on your regular resume, a job title, your employer, the dates of employment. They want to know what your hours per week were. Were you full-time? Were you part-time? They want a description of the job duties, related skills, and responsibilities. Now, you know that when we're talking about a private sector resume, we want you to put a little bit in there about what your job duties were, but we want the focus to be more on what your accomplishments were. What were your achievements? And here, that's going to be a little bit different. Companies don't want you to write a book. The government does. Of course they do. All right. And they want to know if you're in a federal position, what's your grade? What's your series or status working with the government? They want your educational history, and they say do not include on your resume and cover letter, you should not include any of the following: a photograph or video of yourself, any sensitive information about your age, date of birth, marital status, protected health information, religious affiliation, social security number. Some companies will ask for some of these details. Some of them it's not legal to ask, and some of them are not legal to ask until after you've been hired. So the government just wants to avoid any semblance of preferential treatment. They do tell you if you're using acronyms. The government is huge on acronyms. So if you're a CEO, you're going to spell it out Chief Executive Officer. So spell out your acronyms. They don't want anybody stumbling over and not understanding what it is that you're saying. They're saying be descriptive and thorough. Again, private sector resume, we're looking for something really different than that. We want you to be descriptive enough so that we know what you did and what you accomplished in it. Here, they want the novel instead of the crib notes. Okay, they're not looking for the spark notes. They want everything. They want to know what your specific duties were, what kind of software were you using, what kind of tools were you using, what were the results and outcomes. And that's some of the stuff that we want you to put into your private sector resume. They want you to include metrics as they pertain to your achievements and your outcomes. And they're giving you an example here. Keywords are important here as well. So they're saying keywords tend to be action verbs and help a recruiter understand your qualifications and experience. They act as descriptions expressing how you performed a function and the result. And they're giving the example, when a recruiter reads the keyword analyst, he or she might assume you have experience in collecting data and evaluating effectiveness. If the job announcement uses a word such as develops, use it in your resume. Now, if you've watched Module 8 of our free online course about how to find and land work from home jobs, you'll know that we say that as well. Mirror the language that's being used by the employer. Use the language that they're familiar with and that they're looking for as they screen resumes. Don't make things more difficult than they have to be. You may not get an opportunity to describe to them that it is the same thing. So let them know very clearly that it is the same thing that you did. They're telling you, of course, use reverse chronological, which means put your most current job first and then work backward from there, which was what most of us do with our resumes. Tailor your resume for each position. Be concise. Keep your paragraphs short, but descriptive. Use bullet points and make sure that your grammar is correct and your spelling is accurate. So I think those are really good notes. I'll include this link to this page in the description below this video. All right. By the way, while I'm here, if you like this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up. And that helps YouTube know that you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. And also, if you haven't already done so, take a moment to subscribe to this channel. Click the little bell icon to receive notifications every time we upload new content. Now, heading back over to the USA Jobs site, I do want to show you that if you click on their Help Center link at the top of the page, you're going to find different information in here that will help you through the process. Here's another important tidbit. USAJobs.gov used to have an app. They no longer do. But if you go on your phone and you look in your store, you're going to find at least 2. I'm looking on my Android right now. Don't know if you can see that or not. Probably not. If you do, you can see it through my cracked screen. But they have actually, I'm seeing 2 different apps that are using USA Jobs and USA Job. And it's really important to know that these are not affiliated with USAJobs.gov. They try to shut these things down as soon as they come to their attention, but as you can imagine, there are folks out there who will keep putting them back up again. Anything to try to catch people, I swear. Scammers are all over the place. So that's it. I wanted to just make sure that if you're looking for a federal job, you know about USAJobs.gov. You have a better sense of what it is the government is looking for in terms of employees and resumes and cover letters, because it is quite a bit different from what you would be sending out for private sector employers. I hope you find that useful. Let us know if you apply for federal jobs and how that goes. We would love to hear your story. Everybody have a wonderful day. Bye-bye now.